Hi there, everybody. I know it's been a minute since I recorded anything. Honestly, I was kind of like not sure how to approach the holidays. I wanted to make videos, but I felt like I needed to make Christmas videos, and I didn't want to do that. So I was stuck in this in between where I thought maybe I'll just wait until all this blows over. So that's exactly what I did, and I can't explain why. I don't know why I felt like that. I just did. So sorry. But today I wanted to do something kind of I don't know, low key. I'm a huge music person. I'm also chewing gum in this one, so hopefully this doesn't annoy too many people. I personally like the trigger, but not everyone does, so if you don't like it, please just move on. So anyway, I am a huge music person. I'm in my little homemade studio just to kind of for the atmosphere. If you're interested in the music I make, I have a SoundCloud, which I will link in the description. It's nothing fancy. I used to work with friends and people who would help me produce the music. Now I'm just kind of trying it out on my own. I bought myself this MIDI keyboard, and I hook it up to my laptop, and I can create sort of high quality sounds just from my basement. So yeah, don't judge it too much. It's not I'm not good at mixing, and I'm still learning the software, so go easy on me. But if you're curious, that's where my music is. I would say my style kind of at one point was rock and roll, a little bit angrier when I was younger, but all acoustic, I do everything myself. And as I get older, it seems to be kind of more indie pop. I'm not sure. I don't know what to call myself. If you listen and you have an idea of a genre for me, I am all ears, because I don't know. So anyway, today I wanted to kind of go through my most influential CDs and vinyls. So CDs and vinyls that have influenced me in some way, or that are absolute favorites that I love. And I thought I would share them with you, and we could just hang out and chat about music. It's my favorite thing. I wanted to address that fan noise that you probably hear in a lot of my videos. I run a laptop for audio, and my laptop is so old. I'm hoping to get a new one soon, but that's the sound of it just doing its thing. So I'm sorry, I know it's annoying. There it is again. It has to be in proximity because I'm recording straight into it, so I need it. Anyway, let's jump in no particular order, but I think I did break them up into genres. We can start from some of my favorites here. And if you like any of these, let me know, because that would be cool. I feel like my music taste is not, I'm not going to be all hipster and say it's obscure, but you have to like a certain type of music to know what these bands are. So some of you might not even know what they are. But maybe if you don't know what they are and you like rock, you might like this. So this is a band called Karnivool, and their album that I love is this one. It's called Themata. This album, as you can see, is scratched and has beaten up over the years. I don't know if the camera will really pick it up, but it has lived. Oh, it has lived, and I love this album. This was the way I listen to music, and I don't know if others are the same, but I get stuck on something for a while, and it's basically the theme song to my life for that period of time, and then I move on. So now anytime I listen to this album, it brings me back to like 2014. Let me make sure that this wasn't, okay, yeah, this is 2007, I think. But I listened to this in 2014. At the time I was working as a makeup artist, and I was in some very, like a metamorphosis, and this album helped me through it like crazy. There's another one, backstory with the CDs and albums that I have right now. They are not my full collection. Sometime over the course of the years, I lost so many of my favorites. So this and Chevelle, what's the album called? Hats Off to the Bull. Hats Off to the Bull. Which actually, come to think of it, I think it's in my car for like years. These two were like around the similar time, and I was like a huge metalhead for a lot of years, like metal, and then I got like, became like a metalhead snob, so I wouldn't listen to anything but metal. So it was this one and the Chevelle album that kind of pulled me out of that stupid snobby mindset and actually opened my mind to consider that there was lots of other good music out there. So this is a CD, and a lot of the artwork in this album is like a fly, yeah. But some of the songs are, some of my favorites on this album are, and then Themata, the album, the song that's like the title for the album, Fear of the Sky, Lifelike, Sown in Silent. So if you're interested in like rock music that's kind of like spacey and like progressive, but also not, no, that's a bad way to describe it. This is like melodic, it's not metal, but it has like heavy instrumentals with nice soothing vocalist, powerful vocalist, but kind of like gives me Tool vibes, which I've left Easter eggs in a lot of my videos. The Tool is my favorite band ever. Unfortunately, they didn't make this pile because I lost my Tool albums along the years. I don't know where they are. But this kind of like Tool, I don't know how to describe them. Give it a shot, you might like it. They have a couple other albums, all very good. I don't think this band could come up with a bad song. So that's Karnivool. Okay, moving on. So these two are interesting because normally there would be three. So this is Days of the New, and their albums don't actually have titles. They're just like this tree and then different colors. So there's supposed to be three. I don't know where the third one is. As you can see, this one's broken. CDs are so vintage. I love it. Okay, so this is my favorite. This is, I think, the second one. This is the first one, second, and then the third one I have, but it gets really weird. Like the singer became a meth addict, and he started getting like really symphonic and freaky. They were starting to go in that direction on number 2, but it was like just enough. So some of my favorite songs on this album are Take Me Back Then, Bring Yourself. I think that's it actually. I like this one so much just simply for Take Me Back Then. That song is so good. So basically these two albums bring me back to a time when I was fresh out of a breakup in probably like 2016. A breakup with a guy that it went on for like 12 years, me and him. And it's one of those relationships where it's like, it's not just a breakup. Like, there's kind of like a twin flame. Like, they're like a soul person. And even though it was so toxic and ridiculous, it took me a really long time to get this guy out of my system. So this was one of our many breakups. And I was like trying to find my independence, and I was rollerblading a lot. And I remember listening to one of these albums on shuffle on my phone, and I took the worst rollerblade spill of my life. I won't get into graphic details. I know you guys are trying to relax, but I was injured pretty badly, and it was really quite unfortunate. Needless to say, I've never been on my rollerblades since. So that's days of the new. This one though, so some of my favorites on this album are Face of the Earth. You may know this band because they wrote the song Touch, Peel, and Stand. So, and I finally found a reason, I don't need an excuse. I've got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. If you could hear that, you might know that that song kind of like hit the airwaves. But my favorites aren't the popular one. It's Face of the Earth, The Downtown, Whimsical, those are my favorites. Beautiful. It's all like acoustic. This was kind of in the grunge time, so very similar to like, I hear a lot of Alice in Chains influence in this, but it's all like acoustic. So there's no electric guitars, it's acoustic, and it's like basically if you took grunge and just unplugged it, you'd get Days of the New. So if that sounds kind of cool to you, try it out. They were, again, like I said before, I listened to stuff so much during certain chapters in my life that that was the theme song for then. So around probably 2016, maybe 2018. No, 2018 is too soon. 2015, 2016, this was my jam. Okay. So random, but Tiamat. I'm actually not even sure what this album is called. I feel like it doesn't have a title. It's just Tiamat. Anyway, my friend Carly showed me this band when I was a lot younger. So this would have been 2011? No. 2009? Yeah. Let me see if... Yeah, this came out in 2008, so it was either 2008 or 2009. Probably when this was brand new. I listened to this like crazy, and at that time I had like a vampire fantasy, so I would go for little hikes into the woods listening to this album and like praying that a vampire would come and turn me. There are any vampires out there? Still waiting for that dream to come true. Okay, so some of my favorites, this has been years, like what is almost 10 years. 10 years. So I haven't listened to this for ages, but I do remember this being like an influential CD. So some of my favorites that I can remember, Until the Hellhounds Sleep Again. You can see it's like been beaten up. I've had this album for that long. I don't honestly remember. I think it was one of those things. Oh, Raining Dead Angels, number 8. That was one of my favorites. It was one of those albums that I put on so much that like you don't even know what song's passing. They just all blend so well, and like I can see all these names, but I don't remember how to differentiate them. Kind of like a, yeah, you know what I mean? They just blend into each other. But Raining Dead Angels is the favorite, and this is like gothy, like goth metal hybrid, super like doomy, kind of sexy, vampire-y. kind of like Typo Negative, or if you're like listening to modern goth, King Dude. They used to be like really black metal too, which is kind of cool. Okay, so anyway, a little bit of a different direction with this, but this is one of my favorites, Flyleaf. So girl vocalist, they are a Christian band, but you wouldn't know it, so they're like pretty edgy for that fact, and I think they were kind of big in like the early 2000s. And I don't know if they were ever huge, but I liked them around the same time I was listening to Days of the New. I remember I had an apartment at this point, and I was just like finding myself listening to this, and I would just dance for hours into the early morning and then go to work the next day. But I'd just like dance and dance and dance and dance and dance, like just like mad dancing, like just like screaming at everybody in my own little space and just like finding myself. So some of my favorites on this one are obviously Fully Alive. What else do we got? All Around Me. I'm So Sick. Most of them. And there's a second Flyleaf album I have to, I think I have it upstairs. I'm crazy about that one also, but this one kind of like hit home for me mostly. So it's Flyleaf. They're like your like kind of emo band, like maybe I would say. I'm not sure what to call them exactly, but it's a good one, and her voice is awesome. Okay. So different vibe. We're not doing metal right now. This is another influential album around the same time when I was living in that apartment. I would dance. Actually, we'll do both of these. So this is Ellie Goulding and Florence and the Machine. Both of these are like really like, I kind of like them because like I said, I was into metal for so long, and then I was kind of like a tomboy, like rough. And then I listened to these and they were like very feminine, and it got me in touch with like a more feminine side of myself. Lighter, less angry, like a little bit more peaceful. All of this music helped me so much become who I am right now. Like, it's not just putting on a song for me. They're like teaching me things, the lyrics, the melodies, the feeling, the emotion teaches me something every time. So both of these albums were, I love them. So Ellie Goulding, some of my favorite songs on this one were Anything Could Happen. Obviously the album song Hell, I don't know how to say it. Halcyon. Whatever. Explosions, I Know You Care, Atlantis, Dead in the Water. I Need Your Love. In My City. Lights. And those are some of my favorites on this album, and I love this album. It was just influential for me. Again, danced my heart out to those three girls: Flyleaf, Ellie Goulding, and Florence and the Machine. Ceremonials, which probably a lot of people know this album because her and Ellie Goulding are more famous kind of names. But some of my favorite songs on this album were If Only for a Night, What the Water Gave Me, Never Let Me Go, No Light, Seven Devils, Heartlines. I just like was crazy about this. I forgot there's a second disc. I feel like I liked the first one more. That's why I forgot about the other one. But I was doing yoga a lot. I was kind of like healing myself through this music, and eventually I picked up hula hooping, but that was a little bit later. Okay, So this one is another weird one. This is my favorite movie. Okay, this is the soundtrack to my favorite movie. So this movie is Phantom of the Paradise. It's like a spin on Phantom of the Opera. It's a cult classic. Where I'm from, this is an American movie, but I'm in Canada. And my city happened to be like the largest fan base in the entire world for this weird cult movie. I don't know. I have no idea why. We just loved it here. So this was all the way back in 1974. Basically, this character, he's a writer, and this guy is a producer, or like he owns a record label, and he takes advantage of him. He uses his music, makes it super mainstream, and you know, it's like there's a love story in there. It's like Phantom of the Opera, but it's rock and roll. So my favorite songs for this are Faust, Special to Me, Somebody Super Like You, if you have a chance, and you're kind of into like maybe like things like Rock Your Picture Show or any of those like old cult classics, you might like this. So if you look up Somebody Super Like You, Phantom of the Paradise video, it's quite cool. And then Life at Last is another favorite, and it has a pretty cool scene in the movie as well. So if you want to look those up, they're one after the other. They run in consecutive order in this movie, and they're really cool. But my ultimate favorite song on this album and in this movie is Old Souls, which is sung by what's her name? Jessica something. Oh, she's probably in here. But she was an actor. I think she was in break it. She was in Fangoria. Is that what it's called? Phantasm. It's a horror movie. She's in it. But anyway, she's probably on here. Okay, I can't find her name. Jessica something. But she's the female character, kind of the love interest. Her name's Phoenix, and she sings Old Souls, and it is a beautiful song. Okay, well, I just broke my CD. Nothing that I haven't dealt with before. All good. Okay. Heading back into metal. This one, as you can see, hasn't even been opened out of its plastic. So this band is Wintersun. And this one came out 2017, let me see, 2017. So this is the Forest Seasons. After a long break from releasing music, this band came back with this album, and fans went crazy for it. If you're a Wintersun fan, you know what I'm talking about. I haven't opened this because this is kind of like heading into the time when we have Spotify and music at our fingertips. So, and I actually don't think this is on Spotify. I could be wrong. But this came out at a time when it was more accessible. And I didn't need to open this because I had other ways to listen to it. So I thought I would just keep it the way it is. This album's not like a song by song. It's more of like a story. Like the songs, again, will twist and turn into each other. But it's based on the 4 seasons. There's summer, winter, spring, fall. And it's beautiful album. There's actually a documentary that the band released as they were recording this, kind of going through their process of the recording stage and the promotion for the album, and doing photo shoots, different collaborations and artists helping them with it. So it is quite a cool documentary to watch if you're kind of into like that thing. It's good metal. It's not ridiculous. Yari's vocals are insane, and everybody in the band is extremely talented. Very sort of European finished type metal, folky, and just beautiful. I remember I used to play this game online way before this album came out, 2008. I used to make burnt CDs back there, downloading stuff on like LimeWire and BearShare. And I played this game called Vampire Wars. It was like a MySpace game or like a Facebook game. And it had, sorry, my chair. It had like the worst, no graphics. It wasn't even actual like game. It was just one of those games where like you'd like take blood from someone and then you'd get more points and you can make your costume cooler, but like there wasn't actually any interaction with anyone. It was just like a cheapo game, but I was crazy about it. I used to listen to like the old Wintersun when I played that game. So their music like makes me think of like vampires and folklore and stuff like that. Obviously this wouldn't be as favorites if I didn't talk about Black Sabbath. So obviously I have this box set, which is all of them, all of the albums from Black Sabbath all the way through to 1978. For some reason I thought 13 and the new ones were in here, but they're not. But I also have my own copy of Black Sabbath. I would say my favorite album is probably Masters of Reality or Volume 4 and Black Sabbath. Those are my favorites. And same thing, listen to these guys during some very interesting years of my life. So they don't need much of an explanation. It's Black Sabbath. Okay, let's hurry up through this because it's already a half hour long. So this is one Kamelot. I don't have tons to say about this, but I loved this album, and The Human Stain was my favorite song, which is number 4 on this album. It's very, again, like gothy, kind of like power metal influences in there and operatic, but beautiful album. I used to listen to it in high school and paint my nails black and clean my room and just think that I was like queen of the world. Okay, so another favorite band of mine is Katatonia. So this band is one of my top 5. This was new at the time, which was maybe about 2016. Is that right? Okay, maybe that is right. I think they have even another new album since this, which I haven't really listened to as much, but this actually isn't even my favorite album by them. My favorite album of theirs is The Great Cold Distance, but I don't think I own it. This one they released after a little bit of a hiatus. They kind of changed their sound. They used to be quite heavy and doomy, and this one's a lot more melodic and peaceful. But some of my favorite songs on here are Shifts, which is number 9. Takeover, which is the first song. Old Heart Falls. Those are some of my favorites. The Shifts is beautiful, and if you want sort of a touching but sad music video, watch that music video about like love lost. It makes me cry every time. But this might be one of my most favorite bands in the entire world. Katatonia. And then we'll just do a quick run through of some of my favorite vinyls. This is July Talk Touch. Meg Myers. She reminds me of like a modern day Alanis Morissette. She's like angry and awesome and badass. Trade Wind. So soothing. Beautiful band. Listen to them. They're kind of like post-rock. Black Sabbath. This is, I love this album. Night Verses. Their name is Night Verses. This album is incredible. Just heavy, badass. Just listen to it. And Death. The Sound of Perseverance. Rest in peace, Chuck Shoulder. What a heavy, badass band. Okay, so sorry I had to rush through those ones. My camera is running out of time. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Hopefully maybe you'll find something that you dig in this collection. I certainly have shown you the music that is the most important to me. Some honorable mentions are obviously Tool, A Perfect Circle. They go hand in hand, but if I could share those albums, I would. And another Maynard Keenan project is Pussifer, which is another one that I also was crazy about. Marilyn Manson's Heaven Upside Down, which came out in like 2017. And then some like Led Zeppelin. Let me think of some others. There's many. But so these are the ones that I currently have in my collection and that have made it stood the test of time and haven't been lost or transported or gone over the years. So anyway, I just wanted to catch up with you and do like a hangout video. Nothing too like serious. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and wonderful holidays. And now that it's over, I'll be happy to make more videos that don't feel like there's the pressure of the holidays. So anyway, again, if you also chose to listen to my SoundCloud, please let me know what you think.